they diagnosed me with bipolar disorder type 1. And there are 4 types of bipolar disorder. Type 1, you can see it as a spectrum, and type 1 is kind of the most severe in terms of symptoms and symptomology. Uh, that's type 1, and that's characterized by having a full manic episode, and you also switch to severe depression. Type 2 is you experience hypomania, which is a lesser degree or a lesser form of mania. And I'm talking about the symptoms. And I think that I really want to make that distinction clear, because people think, oh, type 1 is worse than type 2 and so forth. But it's on a spectrum of the symptoms that you experience, if that makes sense. Because bipolar disorder, it's a mental illness. Whatever type you have bipolar disorder, and it still impacts your daily life, and you have to manage it, or you basically succumb to it. And the reason why I wrote my book, This War Within My Mind, I wanted to give you a game plan and give you as much information from my own experience on how to manage bipolar disorder successfully. Because there isn't a cure for bipolar disorder, but with the right treatment, you can successfully manage it. So I want you to know that there's hope, because the symptoms that I have had throughout my life, I am very grateful of the support that I've received all around me, from my loved ones to all of my doctors and therapists and everyone in between. They have been instrumental in helping me to get where I am today. But it started with me, myself. I had to accept that I had this illness so I could take the right steps to manage it. And back in 1999, when I was diagnosed, there wasn't a lot of, oh, hey, this is, you can manage it by doing X, Y, and Z. It was mainly, here's the medication, here's the pills, and this will help with your moods and keep you stable, or at least that's the hope. And that's it. That's kind of, because if you think about it, if you see a doctor once a month or even twice a month, you see them for maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time. The time in between is on us, whoever's living with the illness. In this case, it's me. And I know a lot of you who are watching this probably live with it too, or your loved ones, or anybody who's interested in bipolar disorder. So anyways, back to my kind of the topic of my book. First of all, I want to thank everybody here for listening to me. I appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. And I also want to take a minute to thank Alice Wong over at the Disability Visibility Book Circle. She's the one that she offered last year, or in 2020, during the summer, she offered a grant for disabled writers like myself that published a book in 2020 or 2021. And I was the lucky recipient of an award. And that's what has helped me be able to provide this presentation or this book reading to you guys today. So thank you, Alice. I really appreciate your support, and it means the world to me. Now, back to bipolar disorder, this war within my mind, I call it that, or the bipolar battle, since this, let me rearrange my thoughts here, because obviously I keep going off track. But anyways, My book is based on my blog, The Bipolar Battle. That's thebipolarbattle.com. From there, I wrote this book, This War Within My Mind. And I wanted to have a physical book that you could create a game plan how to tackle and manage bipolar disorder on a daily basis. Because if you live with bipolar disorder or any mental illness for that matter, it takes work. It takes a lot of your energy, a lot of your time if you want to manage it. And if your symptoms are stronger or more severe, it makes it even that much more difficult. But I'm here today to kind of reinforce the idea that there's a lot of hope, because I had a very severe form of type 1. When you're hallucinating and having delusions and you don't know what's happening, what's going on, it's scary. It's a scary place to be. Nobody wants to be like that. At least I didn't. And that's what brought me to my book. Now, I want to make just another point here about the symptoms of bipolar disorder, because like I said, there's a spectrum. You have type 1, type 2, and then there's cyclothymia or cyclothymic disorder, and then not otherwise specified. So with type 1, again, you have the severe manias, which is what I experience. And they've been less and less in terms of severity, and the amount of episodes I've had over the years has decreased as I've treated my bipolar disorder and managed it. Because the thing is, it's not something that's just you can, deny it and be like, okay, I'll take my meds and I'll be fine. It, like I said, it takes a lot of hard work. And if you don't treat it, generally speaking, it gets worse and worse. The episodes become closer together and the symptoms are more severe as well. So you can get to the point where you literally can't function. I was at a point in my life where I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to live independently by myself. But today I'm married. I have 2 kiddos, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or anything, but I want you to realize that there's hope. And if you're newly diagnosed or you've been dealing with this and battling this for years, just hold on to that hope. It took me 10 years before I found a medication, a cocktail of meds that allowed me to function to where I could actually start thriving instead of just surviving. Because for so long, that's all it was for me. It was each day was a battle for survival. And people that don't live with a mental illness like bipolar disorder don't understand the severity of actually going from sometimes minute to minute, wondering if you're going to be able to make it through. So now I'd like to read to you from my book, This War Within My Mind. If you have a book, or you have my book in your hand, it is on, I'm going to read the section about adopt the mentality of a warrior. And I think that's page 65. So here we go. Adopt the mentality of a warrior. Physical and mental strength are characteristics of a warrior. Other characteristics include courage, integrity, inner strength, and poise. I strengthen both my mind and body every day by following my treatment plan. My treatment plan is a tool or weapon for fighting my bipolar disorder. The term fighting can sound exhausting, especially in a day in and day out battle. Living day to day with a mental illness is extremely difficult and tiring. It takes willpower, determination, and strength to continually deal with a chronic illness like bipolar disorder. This may sound daunting, but it is doable and within your power. Think of acceptance as your starting point. Acceptance is one of the most important actions you can take in the long-term management of your bipolar disorder. You must accept that you will be living with bipolar disorder for the rest of your life. Come to terms with this fact as soon as you are able. You have quite a bit of work cut out for you, but I do not say this to scare you or to create anxiety. In order to know where you want to go, you need to determine where you are presently. Armed with acceptance and your treatment plan, you have the weapons to fight your bipolar disorder. It will be a daily battle for the rest of your life, but my story is proof that bipolar disorder is manageable with the proper treatment. If I can do it, then know it is in your power to do so too. Fighting bipolar disorder is similar to lifting weights. I follow a consistent exercise program to strengthen my muscles. As time goes by, my muscles grow and I can lift heavier weights. When I first started working out, I found the first few weeks to be extremely hard and exhausting. Once my body adapted to my exercise program, I felt energized and began to push myself harder. Like working out, it can take time to adapt to your treatment of bipolar disorder. When you are first diagnosed, it is overwhelming and exhausting learning about medication management, self-care practices, and how to manage bipolar disorder for life. Once you find the right treatment plan and successfully manage your bipolar disorder, you will gain energy and focus, as well as have a greater ability to handle stress. See how similar lifting weights is to the daily treatment of bipolar disorder? As time goes by, living with bipolar gets easier and easier. It becomes more manageable. Your mind will go stronger and your functionality will improve as long as you properly treat your bipolar disorder. You may not be training a muscle like a weightlifter, but you're training your mind to live with bipolar disorder. Just like a warrior trains his body and mind, you will do the same. The dictionary defines a warrior as one who is engaged aggressively or energetically in an activity, cause, or conflict. That's from the freedictionary.com, 2019. Living with bipolar disorder defines you as a warrior. A warrior is someone who fights in battle, and you fight the bipolar battle every day of your life. Yes, you are a warrior, my friend. It takes courage and skill to live through each day with a mental illness. Your ability to get through each day is a testament to your resolve and ability to survive. If you are reading these words, this means you. The best way to fight a battle is through preparation and practice. I choose to see myself as a warrior fighting bipolar disorder, a bipolar warrior. Empower yourself and do the same. I hope that gives you a little idea, some insight into my book. Like I said, my book is a game plan. It goes through almost every topic that what you need to deal with to manage bipolar disorder. So if you have further questions, you can look at my website, thebipolarbattle.com. I also have a website for myself, which is johnpoehler.com. It's JOHNPOEHLER.com. And actually, the Bipolar Battle, February 2020, I've incorporated it into a nonprofit. And as of today, I'm in the process of getting it certified through the IRS as a 501c3. So my hope is that I can start reaching more people, and I can provide you guys with the tools and everything you need to manage bipolar disorder. Because like I said before, we see our doctor maybe once a month. But with my 20 plus years of living with this, or since I've been diagnosed, because I'm sure looking back, I've probably lived with this my whole life. I want to use what has helped me and what hasn't as well, share it with you guys, so you don't have to go through that same trial and error that I had to. So thank you so much for joining me. Take care and have a great rest of your day.